As the years moved on, CDs, vinyl and tapes were not the only medium we used to consume music. Welcome to Lost in 2097, and tonight I wanted to start with the cut from the game's soundtrack that was always the number one choice. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you track number 9, The Prodigy, Firestarter. Now, as most of you would know, Firestarter was the first single from the Prodigy's third album, Fat of the Land, the one with the crab on it. Now, this was coming out a good year before the album, and it was the first number one for the Prodigy in the UK, but we're not talking about the single year. Wipeout 2097 came out in September of 1996, still before the album release, giving us a unique 4-minute and 39-second long instrumental version of the single. Now, sitting in Jeff's lounge room after work in late 96 through 97, if we were playing Wipeout, we were doing it with this song as the soundtrack. Now, I do remember a conversation with Jeff's flatmate Callum about the quality of Fat of the Land compared to the earlier album music for the Jilted generation. And my only comment was, which album has Firestarter on it? He drops the mic and goes out onto the balcony for a cig. See, back then I worked a 4 till midnight shift, providing dial-up internet support for one of the big ISPs. Jeff was one of the guys I worked with. Jeff's flat was a stop on the way home. At the time I was living on Burke Street, so was Jeff. He'd moved to Sydney from Adelaide with a couple of his mates. It was a newish 2-story apartment with a huge balcony on Burke Street looking over a small square. All brick, so noise was never a problem. And it was only a 5-minute walk home for me. Tom, my oldest, was about 4 months old at the time. He was a good sleeper, and I'd normally check on him at about 2 when I got in, change his nappy if he needed it, and give him a feed if he was hungry. And the stop at Jeff's after work worked well. So most nights after work, we'd get a lift to Jeff's with Michael, who lived down in the Shire. Spend a couple of hours trying to beat each other's time with Firestarter pumping in the background, talking about the evening's events, wailing on support calls we'd had during the evening while waiting for our turn. For all intents and purposes, Wipeout 2097 was a one-player game. Yes, there was System Link where you could play battle mode, but that involved getting another PlayStation and another TV, and unless you're in a house or a flat with such, it was very much a one-player experience. And I think therein lay the charm for this game. You wanted to beat the race record or the lap time of your mates while completing a perfect lap. And you know, at the time for me, this was my escape. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this little experiment. If you'd like to hear more of me rambling over music and footage of me playing old video games, hit the like button below. And hit the subscribe button for more Lost in 12 inches. See you next time. And as I always say, testicles.